What's up, webheads? It's your boy SpideyQueue, and it's Monday, so let's get to it. It's a very special time of year this year, and for all of you celebrating it, Merry Christmas. For all of you not, Happy Holidays. Now I want to see by a show of hands everybody who has finished their Christmas shopping. Yeah, that's what I thought. There always seems to be a couple of those years when the holidays come about that it sneaks up on you. You're always sitting to yourself, I know exactly what I'm going to get this person, I know exactly what I'm going to get that person, but then it's a week before Christmas and you're stuck there going, But fear not, because your boy's going to give you a hand on what to get the nerdy gamer or the nerd or the geek that you have as your special someone. So why don't we go ahead and take this, not step by step, but we'll go category by category on what you can get said people. And let's start with the comic book guys. So if you or your significant other or partner or whoever it may be is really heavy into comic books, there is a wide range of things that you can get because of the collecting aspect of it. Depending on how long you've been with the person or how well you know the person, you know the extent of their collections and what they have as far as what comics go. They usually collect toys, they usually collect statues, somewhere they're always within that realm of collecting. If you're looking to go more the statue route and you're on a budget, one of the easier things to get are pops. So if the person in your life is into comics, depending on what character they're in, if they're a webhead like me, you can never go wrong with these guys. Sorry, that was really bright. Basically, pop customs. They're essentially collecting statues that are easy on the budget, and they're really easy to find originals that they most likely won't have. Pop dolls will run you anywhere between $9.99 and $14.99 if you're looking for just standard. If you're looking for one-offs or if you're looking for really heavy collectibles, they can run you anywhere from $30 to $300 depending on what you're looking for. But because the pop genre is so wide and is so vast, you can usually find something that'll cater to that person really easily. It'll fit into their collection really nicely, and it helps build their fandom around it a little bit more. Trying to find collector comic books and trying to find one-off comics that they might not have, you have to know their pull list. You have to know what they're reading, you have to know what they're missing and what they don't, and sometimes those comics can run you anywhere from between $10 to $10,000. Depending on the rarity of what they need. So if you are looking for comic books, it's really easy to just go to their local comic shop and ask what's next on their pull list. And from there, you can just basically pick up everything that's on their pull list, you can bag it really nicely, and it's a nice way to just say, I picked up your books, and then get them something small in there, like bags and boards, long boxes, which also make great gifts for comic collectors. Just by picking those up really helps the collector, get back on track and get where they need to be. So if you're looking for good gifts for the comic book collector, or just the superhero fandom person in general, you're looking for pop dolls, you're looking for updated pull lists, long boxes, bags and boards, stuff of that nature, and you'll be good to go. Let's tackle the gamers. Now gamers might be a little bit different, a little bit more complicated, but you can still get around the issue pretty well if you know what they're into. A gamer is not necessarily easier to shop for, but can be easier to shop for because it's very brand heavy. So when you look at a gaming rig and you notice they use a lot of Razer, or they use a lot of Logitech, or they use a lot of steel, you can kind of narrow down your search as to what they need or what you think they can upgrade. You don't want to start getting into things like maybe I can get them a new CPU or a new gaming card or a graphics card or anything along those lines, because those are specs that usually they would want to tweak on their own. Like even the other stuff that I'm going to mention is like that, but when it comes to the hardware aspect of the internal workings of the computer, that you usually leave to the gamer because they kind of know exactly how they want to clock things, how they want to spec it. So I'll kind of point you in the direction of things you can get. And those are three major components. One is going to be a mouse. Two is going to be the keyboard. Three is going to be a headset. And through process of elimination, you can go to your partner's rig and you can see, okay, the mouse is kind of basic or it looks worn. The keyboard looks like it could use an upgrade, or they look like they can use an upgraded headset, and you can fill from there. 9 times out of 10, if they're using a specific brand that they already have used for a while, you're pretty much safe to go with that brand. I'd recommend just either replacing with the same brand or upgrading. Myself personally, I use everything Logitech except for my headsets, which I use Sage. Because my wife games so close to me and she knows exactly what I do and how I use my gaming tools, she would know exactly where I would need to upgrade, how I would want to upgrade. But what it essentially comes down to is knowing the piece that would fit the best and can fit within your budget. So replacing a headset, replacing a keyboard, or replacing a mouse, or even just getting them started with a new set of those things if they're planning on getting into gaming, are always really clutch. And if they happen to be an Xbox gamer or a PS4 gamer or a Nintendo Wii gamer, you can always replace those parts or get them custom parts for that. Custom controllers, custom headsets, custom everything. Or even if you just want to replace those parts with something you think would be kind of cool, that always helps out too. So you have lots of options for the gamer. What it mostly is either giving them custom parts or replacement parts, but usually that'll set you on the right path and you're good to go. Now let's tackle the hardest one in my opinion, the cosplayer. I'm thinking the majority of the people that follow me on Instagram and Snapchat and any of the other platforms, and the majority of you guys watching right now, are most likely cosplayers. So you know that when it comes down to getting us a gift or getting someone you know who's a cosplayer a gift, man does it get hard. Because you know exactly what you would want, but it's not necessarily what they would want because let's say they cosplay DC Universe and you happen to be strictly Naruto or a Dragon Ball guy or girl, or you happen to be a Spider-Man guy or girl. It just gets... So I'm going to give you a few helpful things that every cosplayer uses, every cosplayer needs, and every cosplayer would be really appreciative if you gave them. Number one would be foam. Foam is going to be a universal gift. If you can give someone stacks and stacks of foam, and I'm talking you can give them 1/2 inch foam all the way down to the 1/8 foam in a packet, just for building purposes, you're in God mode at that point. Giving someone the gift of foam may sound a little weird, but it is something that cosplayers are constantly using. So to be able to touch on these things and to say, I want to contribute more to your craft, to your hobby, to your profession, whatever it may be, that gift speaks from the heart a lot because it is something that you're encouraging and it is something that you support. A lot of cosplayers want that support and encouragement. So getting that gift, especially if you're on a budget, works out really well. X-Acto knives, blades, and scissors. Cutting tools in general. If you have a little bit more of a budget that you can expand, you can get someone a Dremel. A Dremel is probably a cosplayer's lightsaber. It is one of the best tools that we have in our arsenals because it is our get-out-of-jail-free card and it is our do-it-all tool. Most of our sculpting, shaping, crafting all comes from essentially a Dremel because we're doing a lot of fine work with it, and with each different bit that we have inside the Dremel, it really helps us achieve that look that we want. If you have a little bit bigger of a budget, a Dremel is an amazing gift. But if you're on the smaller side of the budget, scissors, X-Acto knives, and blades make beautiful gifts. Just as a small little like stocking stuffer or just as a small little budget gift. Giving someone a good Olga or Olfa, even as a small gift, this gift goes a long way. Cosplayers burn through blades like it's going out of style. And if you can give someone a good solid Olfa holder, whether it be a large 18mm or a small 11mm, whichever, either or, they make for great gifts because it gives them more of a professional style knife and a professional style blade that'll last them a lot longer. And trust me, it is very much appreciated when you have stacks and stacks of blades that you know you can go through when you got to get a cosplay done. Scissors help out in leaps and bounds only because there are certain areas you just can't get to with a knife and you want to be able to snip, snip, snip really fast. And a good pair of fabric scissors, I would recommend, because most of the time when you're using scissors, it's on fabric and they want to be able to make those precision cuts as close as possible. And one of the beautiful things about this gift is you can head to a dollar store or you can head to, let's say, a Michael's or a Curry's or anything like that. You can grab a nice little box, which I recommend a plastic tackle box or even a little toolbox. You can dress that up exactly how you would want it or exactly how you think they would want it according to their cosplayer fandom, and you can give them essentially what would be a cosplay kit. I've been given that before by somebody at a Kris Kringle and it was an amazing gift. I'm a sign guy by trade and knives are very much my thing, especially when it comes to X-Acto blades and very, very thin scalpel blades. It really helps me out for the crafting that I do, especially with everything I do with vinyl and cosplay and everything like that. It helps out in leaps and bounds. So that is a really good budget gift if you want to get a cosplayer something you know that they will constantly use, and if you just want to kind of, you know, insert yourself into saying, I want to support you. So this is something I think you need, and I think it's a pretty good gift on its own. Third, probably the most important one too, a glue gun. And if you want to go the step further, 2 sizes of glue gun. You have your magnum size, your big one, and your small one for a little bit more finesse work. If there is one thing every cosplayer has in their tool chest, it is a glue gun. Especially when you can go to a Home Depot right now and you can buy a 100 pack, I don't know if they still have it, don't quote me on it, but you can buy a 100 pack of Stanley glue sticks. And it is a bag like this big, and they're all magnum size, so they're about 10 inches long. get your heads out of the gutter. And you can even head to a little craft shop like Michael's and Curry's again, and you can get them the small glue guns, ones that are about this big, just little wall plugins. The glue sticks are only about that long, and they work wonders when you're in a pinch. The glue gun to the cosplayer is the 44 to the cowboy. They are a necessity. It is something that they need. It is something that they use constantly. So I think that if you're going for more of the bang, hit the home run gift, glue guns, you're never gonna miss. All in all, guys, I think that what really matters the most is when you're shopping for your partner, your significant other, your friend, or just someone that you happen to grab in a Kris Kringle, give from the heart. When you give something from the heart and you give it with meaning, as in, I want to support what you're doing, I enjoy your hobby, I accept like everything about what it is that person does, when you give from the heart, it just means that much more. And never be afraid that they won't like what you give them, especially if you're giving from the heart. They will always like what you give them. If y'all are curious about anything that I had mentioned today and you're actually looking for stuff like that, I'm going to post some Amazon links or links from any stores that I can find on the stuff that I talked about in the description down below to kind of give you guys a hand and to give you like some last minute Christmas ideas so that, you know, because we're in the last week leading up before Christmas, I'll make sure that they're items that you can get pretty quick, especially if you have Amazon Prime. And before we wrap this one up, guys, just want to hit on a couple more points. We are still working out the logistics for the Wednesday videos, which are the interviews and the other stuff that we want to throw in there. So those are coming, so please be patient. We are working really hard on those. Also, the clothing line like t-shirts and hoodies and all that kind of amazing jazz are also going to be coming soon, and there is going to be an episode updating when we will be launching that, so make sure you keep eyes out for that as well. The new Friday segment is going to be just Hero League play, whether it's climbing through the ranks or whether we're testing out new characters. It's going to flop back and forth, but you guys will see in the actual thumbnails that'll be on the Friday videos, so that's something also to look forward to. And of course, next Monday we will be showing you our haul for what we got for Christmas, and we're going to have a couple special guests on Monday because we have some friends who are visiting us, and y'all probably know them already if you follow me on Instagram. If not, prepare to be introduced to some really good friends of mine. And I think that's all I got for today, guys, so let's wrap this up. And again, guys, if you're curious about anything that I talked about today, I will post links down below, so click at your pleasure. And of course, guys, if you like what you saw today, go ahead and hit that like button. If you plan on sticking around, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But as always, thanks for hanging. I'm SpideyQueue. Lots more coming from you boys. So as always, stay tuned, y'all.